So I asked you guys if you wanted a video on my new PC build, since I'm a first time PC builder, and a ton of you told me I should make a video on it. You thought it'd be interesting, so that's what this video is going to be about. This is my £500 PC build that I actually built just over the other weekend. Hello everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about the PC I built the other week. Now it's a £500 build, it's just over $500, around $500 if you're in America. I don't know what it is in Australia because, you know, PC parts are quite expensive in the UK, but they're very expensive in Australia, and then they're pretty much dirt cheap in America compared to Europe. So basically it's a pretty good budget build. I mean, its budget is in the fact that it'll run pretty much all the major titles, and it can run the majority of them at 60 frames per second on pretty much max settings. So it's really good, especially for people like me who are first-time PC builders, first-time PC gamers. I built it myself. I didn't get help from anyone else who knows what they're doing about computers. I just had a little bit of help from my brothers with screws and stuff, but neither of us know how to build PCs. I certainly don't know how to build PCs, and I did all the wiring. I did everything myself, basically. So this is a guide, not an expert guide. It's a guide from someone's perspective who has never built a PC before, which I guess you thought would be interesting for me to make a video on. So let's get into the actual PC. Alright, so just before I show you the footage of the kind of inside of the PC and that, apologies for how bad it is. I recorded an iPhone 5S in bad lighting, so yeah, apologies for that. I just thought some of you might actually want to see the PC, so I thought, screw it, I'll just show you a clip of it anyway. Alright, so this is the actual PC all built without it opened up. I'm going to open it up in a moment. The case is the Fractal Design Core 1180X. It's just a solid case. It was a bit too small. I actually bought a fan for the CPU and it wouldn't fit. So if you are going to get a cooler, I shouldn't call it a fancy. I'm a noob at this, okay? A cooler, if you want to buy a cooler, you want to buy a smaller, lower one that's not as high, because the case isn't big. It's a medium-sized case. It'll fit all your parts in, though. It should be fine in that respect. Alright, so first up, it's just a standard Corsair 550 watt power supply, perfectly fine for this build, a bit overkill. CPU is the FX 6300, it's got 6 cores, 3.5 GHz, really good at running games, pretty good. The most expensive part here, £150 I spent on this. The GTX 1050 Ti cost me an absolute fortune, but oh well. 8GB of RAM. Pretty standard. You need at least 8GB of RAM for a gaming PC, definitely a minimum, and then a 1TB hard drive. And you don't really need more than 1TB. If you want to get an SSD, then you can get an SSD, but I just want to save a bit of money on it, so I didn't personally. So that's my quick, really bad overview, just actually showing you what the parts look like in the inside of the PC. I'm going to get a bit more into detail with it now. So the power supply, like I said, 550 watt. Bit overkill. You can just look up how much each of, how much power each of your parts you use, but I'm thinking in terms of upgrading in the future, may as well get a bigger one now. Then the motherboard was a Gigabyte AM3. It supports 6 USBs. It only cost me £50. You need to look at getting a motherboard that's compatible with your parts. So if you're doing this exact build, you will be fine. But that's the most important part, making sure your motherboard, because it connects to everything, so making sure your motherboard is compatible with the rest of your parts, basically. So depending on if you're using an Intel, an AMD, depending on what series of AMD you're using, like kind of what, when it was released, depends on what motherboard you need to buy, so just be careful with the motherboard. And the processor was AMD, which is why I bought that motherboard. FX 6300 6 core, 3.5 GHz, which is decent on its own. It can be overclocked to 4.1, but if you're going to overclock it, you probably need to buy a different CPU cooler than the standard one, because the standard cooler is it's designed for not overclocking it, if that makes sense. It'll get too hot, basically, if you're overclocking it. But the 6 cores is a bit overkill. You could just get the 4300, that's probably fine, but I just went all out, just thought I'd get 6 cores for no reason, really. I don't need them at all. The graphics card, which is arguably, of course, the most important part of the PC build, what makes the difference between a normal PC and a gaming PC. I got the Gigabyte GTX 1050 Ti for £150. Really great. It's great. I mean, it's the best kind of budget one I think you can get. I mean, you could get the 1060 if you've got a bit more, but it's really solid. You want to get a GTX as well. I mean, you can get an R9 or just a Radeon one in general, but your safe bet is to stick with a GTX made, you know, a GeForce graphics card. The RAM, I got 2x4 gig, which is basically 8 gig of RAM, HyperX Fury. This did cost me only £35 because it's the only part I got second hand off a friend, but it was £60 new. However, there's a ton of other replacements, so I mean, £55 even just for the kind of the top end 8 gig RAM. You can really probably get one for about 40. And then a 1TB hard drive, pretty standard, cost me £40, I think. Might have been 45, I think it was 40. Just really standard, basically. Now, what I'm going to do is, because I've gone through this quite quickly and I know I'll have missed a ton of stuff off, I'm going to do a list of the PC parts. I will put links in the description, so don't worry about that if you want to go and look at a part in particular on Amazon. But it's £440 with the pre-owned part for me in total. You can see, if I didn't mess this up, all the prices on screen now of the individual parts. And £460 overall if you're going to buy that RAM new, and you're going to get a top end 2x4 gig RAM, also known as 8 gig of RAM, just as separate sticks. So it's under £500, well under £500 really. I probably could have got away with calling it like a £450 build, but oh well, I'm not really bothered. There are a couple of things you do need to note with this build though, is the Wi-Fi card doesn't fit, so you have to use an external adapter on Ethernet cable, but most people use them anyway. It's just because of where I am in the house, I can't use one basically, I'm too far away. But as you can see, got some CSGO gameplay in the background. It runs CSGO obviously like a charm. If you literally just want a PC for CSGO, I recommend downgrading this PC because you don't need it. Even the parts that I've got to run something like CSGO, you'll be perfectly fine. But as you can see, there's some Arc gameplay in the background now as well. It can run Arc at above 30 frames per second consistently, which might not sound that good, but this game's still in early access. It's known for being laggy and just dropping frame rates for no reason, basically. The PS4 version runs absolutely horrifically, so the fact that it can run that just kind of is a testament to the PC, that it can run that and you can play that, you know, competently, and you're not going to get too annoyed with the fact that it lags occasionally, because it runs it really well. I didn't think it'd be able to run it, and it's been running it fine for me. So yeah, I'm sorry if this is not a great video. I don't know what I'm doing as far as it comes to PCs. It's just, I've been asked to make this video basically, and I wanted to just talk about it. And I just want to say, if you want to ask me any questions, feel free to do so in the comments. I'll try and answer any that I know. But I just want to show you my PC build. It's something that I spent a lot of time picking the parts for, so I am fairly confident this is one of the best builds I could have built within my budget, especially considering that I had to buy a keyboard and a new mouse and all that stuff. I already had the monitor, I had to get a adapter and all sorts of stuff, so I had to buy a load of extras as well, so it cost me around 500. It went all the way up to the 500 mark, but I mean, this should be perfectly fine for just a new gamer like me. You should be fine with it. It was a little project of mine for a while. I found it quite interesting to build. I enjoyed building it, so I asked you if you wanted a video on it. You said you wanted a video on it. You know, it's great for my channel as well. It means I can start making some PC gaming videos. It means that I can start... It's just going to be so much easier for me to record, and of course, I can now play PC games, and there's so many more PC games than there are than console, but I basically recommend this for anyone who wants to go from console to PC. But I mean, it's better to do what I did and go up to that kind of £500 budget, spend a little bit more than you maybe would have wanted to, and get a PC that's going to work and run pretty much everything on good graphics and good settings. So that's basically it for this video. There's not a lot else to say, but you know, like I said, if you want to ask me any questions, feel free to in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. I can't guarantee I'm going to be able to answer all of them, because like I said, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm sure I have some PC viewers who can help you out in the comments. There's going to be someone who knows the answer to the questions. It's been a bit long, this video, actually, now I'm looking at it, so I'm going to wrap this up here. It's probably going to be just under the 10-minute mark, maybe just over, I don't know. Get me that extra YouTube ad revenue, as everyone seems to do, the 10-minute and 1-second videos. I guess that's going to be me on this. But I hope you guys did all enjoy this video. please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you're around here. You can watch another video on screen now, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.